All right, we ready to do this? Let's go.
I demand the Schumacher cut. Let's go.
Schumacher cut. Here we go.
Schumacher cut of RoboCop.
I want bat nipples all over the place.
Extra
everywhere.
bat. He's like a cow. He's got 6 bat nipples down his torso.
Back to what the
bat
fuck
teeth.
is he? What is he? A fucking dog? What the hell? 6 nipples?
I want bat nipples. I want an Iyer cut. I want a Lucas cut. I want a Prime cut. I want a ribeye cut.
Ribeye cut.
I want a New York State cut.
I want a cut. I want a cutty cut. I want a brother cut. I don't know. I want a haircut
for the cut, and I want a cut for the cut that also came after the cut. So let me get that cut.
After I cut the cheese, I'll start my cut.
Yeah,
there you go. He'll start cutting the cheese. So he'll start his cut. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Squares of the Round Table podcast. Of course, as you see, or should I say, as you hear, all of our shenanigans happening right now just before your ears. We got Mike, we got Jeff, and there's little old me. Oh, little old pop-headed me. Okay, yes, so hey, welcome everybody. And who wants to find out who's going to do the first of the week? Who wants to give up their week first?
I guess I will. I shall relinquish my week. It was a busy week for me. Because the weather gets nice. And when the weather gets nice, everybody goes out. And when everyone goes out with their stimulus checks, they all want to spend all their monies. So we let them spend it at the hardware store, and we are busy. So.
Yeah.
Where they spent it? That's just stupid.
Yeah, I got a couple of screw nuts from one of your neighbors.
We had a sale on grills, so people were buying grills. Like some of the Genesis grills can run up over $1,000.
Oh, so Ludacris was there to put stuff on his teeth?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Weber grills. Golden grills.
They
might as well be made of gold. Man, those things are expensive, those Weber grills. Yeah, I was very busy. We've been very busy at the store. It was Sunday we had the donut truck, and those are decadent. Like the little cinnamon donuts that are fresh off the truck that are warm in the paper bag.
They don't want to talk about fresh
and they
donuts.
got cinnamon all over them. Oh, yeah. They're nom, 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 nom. Those are good. I thought another bag of that would have injured myself.
You ever go to the carnival and have some of their homemade donuts?
No.
I did. Out in St. Charles, they have a fair out there, some kind of craft fair that they do every year, Scarecrow Fest. Yeah, that's it. And they always have a truck where they have, made up to look like a peanut or popcorn truck. But they make all the donuts right there, fresh right there. Mm-hmm. Mini donuts.
Yeah, so we had those. It was the little red donut truck. If you follow them on Facebook, you'll know where they're at. They're usually in Chicago, suburb area. Yeah, we had a very busy week. I've worked all weekend. This is my work weekend. At least my last Sunday for a while. And maybe if we can train and I can get my Sundays off, which would be awesome. Because this is kicking my ass. It's a long day on a Sunday. And especially if I work Saturday. Cuts into my thing. But I did have a game night Saturday.
Yes, on the pictures. It's pretty cool.
The it was the Dark Gothic. Just another deck building cooperative card game, and it was fun. The thing is, the neat thing about these is that the cards are all photographs of like cosplayers. They're not like it's not like artwork, but some of them are quite clever. So anyway, that was fun. And so I'm sorry, what?
I says, are they like models, or are they these like cosplayers that you would know?
Yeah, they look like cosplayers, but there's only like 4 or 5 of them, so some of them, like, you can tell, like, put on a wig. So it's like, it's like, I'm the master of disguise. Let's not get into that.
What? Hey, what's the big deal? If they want to wear a wig, that's okay. I don't mind.
Master of disguise.
I want to be master of disguise. That movie was horrible.
Yes, we said all we need to say about Dana Carvey's Master of Disguise.
I want to be a master of disguise.
But yeah, it was fun. It was good game night. I don't know if I guess we'll have another one, because it was like the Saturday before Easter. It's like, Yeah, we could have game night that night, but that's usually when I just sit and watch the Ten Commandments. So
Yeah,
I'll just have to watch the Ten Commandments
God.
on Easter Sunday then instead.
Really?
Yeah, that's a tradition for me.
I don't understand.
The Saturday night before Easter.
You don't understand, Jeff.
I don't get it. What does the Ten Commandments have to do with Easter?
It's a biblical film. I know it's Old Testament and deals with Passover and not Easter, but
Mike, you're trying to explain the Christian ethics to a Jewish man.
yeah.
And I don't get it. I mean, just like
No. That's why you just sit there like I don't
I understand.
get it.
It's okay not to get it. It's religion.
Well,
It's just faith.
There might be the title of our entire episode.
I'm not saying watching the Ten Commandments is a bad thing. I watch the Ten Commandments every now and again. I'm not as traditionalistic as my friend Mike is, but yeah, I mean, but it's because, that's what I get for being a Catholic in grade school for a little while and stuff. Just kind of that rubbed off on me until
I think y'all who watch the y'all who have to watch the Ten Commandments should be forced to eat the matzah for the week and see how you like Ten Commandments then.
If they eat the bitter herbs and the matzah instead of
That's only one day. You eat the wallpaper for a week. See how that goes.
wallpaper. Hey,
I enjoy that.
I used to eat rice cakes when I was on a diet, so I was
No. Hold on a second.
No.
You're saying matzo is worse than rice cakes?
Oh yeah.
No, matzo is like wheat or some kind of flour, man, and they're dry, like Sahara dry.
Just drink it with water then.
If you're not careful, yeah, that stuff can do horrible things to your system. But I don't want to talk about
it. It would give you a better share of brand than you
a lot of fiber in your diet. Howdy-ho.
That's why I fornicate and I put jelly all over it and I kind of bring the taste up to par. Or I'll just crush it in coffee like a good Puerto Rican should. But yeah, I'm untraditionalistic when it comes to macho crackers.
Hey, at least this time I made sure before we walked out of the store that it said that this was the Passover. This was the matzah for Passover. Because I still don't fucking get that to this day either. Who the fuck eats this shit when it's not Passover? Really? Really? Seriously?
Some people just must really like it. Some people like the fiber.
Oh,
Some
man.
people
They make great crackers for coffee in the morning. I mean, like my coffee.
I mean, if you're gonna crumble it up and use it in like soup, maybe, or if you're gonna use them like crust them up, like a crust or something or that. Maybe from a cooking perspective, but it's not like a cracker. A cracker tastes better than matzah.
Well, you have the table water crackers, which are really, really good. They accentuate with cheese. They just make everything better, whatever you put on top of them, food wise, and just.
Unless you're using like the flavored ones, which by the way are not kosher for Passover.
Oh, no, I wouldn't think so. They're watching the suffer for them.
It's like, oh yeah, these onion ones are great. That was a year that was fun. Hey, I love flavors. This is great. Oh man.
Yeah, that's right.
Seriously?
Passover is this weekend now, so you got that to look forward to, my friend.
I'm confused by the concept of that.
Look, Jeff, just for the record, people, I know people are like, why is Ivan laughing at his Jewishness? I'm not laughing at his Jewishness. I'm laughing with his Jewishness because he's the coolest Jewish person I know, No,
I just, like I said, this all started because Mike's like, by tradition of watching the Ten Commandments, and I'm like,
It's Easter, though.
Right.
And it deals in Passover. Obviously the penultimate, I think is the word.
Penultimate.
Yeah. The climax of the film.
I don't remember at any point Jesus showing up during the Ten Commandments, but okay. Sure.
The Easter Bunny shows up, and he parts the Red Sea with Moses.
Right.
His ears move side to side, and that splits the Red Sea.
Yeah,
Charlton Heston looks at the sea and goes, "Die, pig, die," and it opens up.
right. He's
Yes.
reading the lyrics
Like
to
he does
Cop
when he's
Killer.
reading- Yeah, when he's reading the lyrics to Cop Killer.
You know. And then after he gets done, he just throws the water back together and everyone drowns,
See, it's so funny.
We don't have to deal
having
with Pharaoh no more.
Well, it's so funny because we're having this conversation now, and I had something for News of the Squared, but I really almost feel like why you're talking about it now. But we'll never get back on topic, so I'll save it for News of the Squared. But it is Passover related because I saw something, and I've seen it all week, and I swear to God, see, this is a good tease for the News of the Squared.
Ooh.
I've seen it all week on my feed, and I finally was like, screw it. I'm posting it on my own feed because I want someone to explain how this has anything to do with Passover. But okay, you go right ahead.
Do not pass go.
We'll get to we'll get to it. We'll get to it a little bit later, or we'll get to it tomorrow, or whatever the hell the show is on.
Yeah, when you'll stay tuned, folks.
Yeah.
So I watched first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier. I liked it.
Are we gonna do that now?
Yeah, we can do that now, I guess. But
yeah, because we got a lot later too.
Yeah,
so.
we got something else we got to discuss. So yeah, it was a good setup. I mean, it was fine. Like I said, anything having to deal with how the world is dealing post snap and everyone coming back is cool. And this deals with. I thought, this they haven't obviously the Falcon and Winter Soldier. They're doing their own thing right now, and they've all got their shucks, they're down on luck. It's like Rocky. I mean, they're all like the Yo Adrian syndrome. Like, oh man, I'm just down trying to get by in this crazy world. And they're doing. That was a good action scene in the beginning. I like that. It was cool.
Yeah, that was high quality. The first 10 minutes.
That was like Avengers movie quality. It's like, woo.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what was missing from the WandaVision stuff too. And I'm like, give me more of that. You give me all that, I'm very, very happy. And then the next.
And then we just had a bunch of people talking for the next 20, 25 minutes. Because that's how TV budgets work. I mean, they blew their budget. No. It's like it's going to be there's 5 more episodes of just talking.
I don't know about that. I don't think 5 more episodes of talking.
Oh, cool action sequence. Okay, and Mickey's all like,
run out of money, guys. Sorry. The first, doesn't leave much.
It's only 6 episodes. They can't be that much out of money. I mean, they only have 6. I mean, how hard could it? Well, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, it's difficult to judge. It's first episode. It's cool, and see what's going on and see how this plays out. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll go along, but I got to tell you, there's some bad lazy writing in this thing.
Oh no!
There's some
explain.
There's some really bad lazy writing. I'm sorry. Sam Wilson ain't that dumb. He just isn't this dumb. And he's just not. He can't be this dumb. After everything that's gone on since Winter Soldier, he cannot be this dumb. He just can't.
Well, he's a skilled pilot, and he's served in the Air Force.
Right, no, I understand.
But what's he done? What's he doing that's dumb? Trying to get a loan? Trying to save his family business?
No. I'm just going to hand the shield over and let it sit in the Smithsonian because everyone's just going to allow that to happen.
But because he said it feels like someone else's.
Yeah. Dude.
He didn't realize that they were just going to pick another schmo and have him
come on. Oh, come on. After dealing with everything that he's dealt with, considering Winter Soldier, Civil War, all the stuff that's happened, at no point, and by the way, he's not the only one I have a bone to pick with about this, okay? The other part I have a bone to pick with is Rhodey's there, War Machine's there, and I don't want to hear any bullshit that he didn't know. He's too far up the food chain at this point not to know. And just sit there and if he's okay with it, that's the biggest load of crap I've ever seen. But they're going to play this off like he didn't know either, okay? And the only way that might work is if it's Thunderbolt Ross. And that's it. That's the only answer I'll take, is if it's Thunderbolt Ross. Because otherwise, there's no way that Rhodey has no clue that they're about to basically hand this thing over to somebody else and that they're creating another project. And to take it a step further, no, I'm sorry. No. Okay, I'm just going to put it in Smithsonian. Are you crazy? You're going to put one of the greatest weapons in the history of the world on exhibit in the Smithsonian for anyone, because that's not getting stolen anytime soon. Not at all. That's not getting stolen anytime soon at all. No, none at all. No way. No. Nobody is this. I'm sorry. No. And P.S., as long as we're on this, as long as we're on that ceremony, we're on the ceremony. Because the ceremony is open to the public, right? It seems to be open to the public. Right, the press. Okay, so there's a ceremony, and it's all about Captain America and this exhibit in the Smithsonian and Captain America, okay? And Bucky isn't there? Bucky's not there.
Bucky wasn't returning his calls when he was talking to the
Doesn't matter.
shrink.
I mean, well, okay, well, maybe. I just don't buy it.
He's dealing with his own shit.
I don't buy. No, I'm sorry. That's just lazy. I don't buy that he's not there. I just don't buy it. I don't.
Well,
I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying it. It's bad writing. It's lazy. And I think that it's, you know, okay, fine. You want them to go their separate ways. You want to do it. You want to have them both be down or walk and go separate ways. You know, here would have been an interesting scene, which is Bucky's there looking at Sam going, at least I would have lived with this. Bucky's looking at Sam going, this is a bad idea. And then they go their opposite ways. And then this happens. That would have been interesting to me. And that would have been worthwhile to me. Okay. I just don't. Like I said, I'm going to watch it. I'm positive I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to probably enjoy this more than I enjoyed WandaVision. And I did enjoy that show. But I'm going to enjoy this more. I just can't stand when people write some of these characters is not as smart as they need to be. And just sit there and by the way, I do kind of laugh because the one joke is, what, the Avengers don't have any money for you? Yeah, dude, what the hell? Why don't you have any event? Really? Tony never basically gave anybody any money for being part of the Avengers. You should have a boat. I'm not sitting there saying you should be a millionaire. And now you work for the government. You should be picking up some money. What the hell? You need a loan. Shouldn't the Stark Foundation pretty much give them a loan? What? They're not available all of a sudden to give them a loan?
Well, it's been a couple months and everyone's trying to get their footing. I don't know. You're right. It is a good question as to why one of the Avengers needs money. I mean, he could just, send a message to Happy and be all like, "Hey, man, I could, get a loan through Happy."
Yeah.
Or whoever's running this, or a Pepper.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I kind of it's like last time I checked, the last time we saw these characters, it's like, you just pretty much saved the whole fucking galaxy.
Half the universe.
Yeah. Yeah, you saved pretty much the whole damn kit and caboodle. Okay? We ain't got money for a loan. You saved the damn galaxy and nobody got no money for you. I mean, it's just kind of like, yeah, it was great you did that for us, but yep, you don't get no loan. Okay. Hey,
so that's what Sam is doing. And meanwhile, Bucky is dealing with all the people he killed. And all the shit he's trying to remember now from the solace he had in Wakanda. And now he's having nightmares about all the stuff that happened while he was assassinating people, killing innocent people.
Yeah.
So now he's made a list, and he's making amends, and he's...
I'm checking it twice.
Exactly, yeah.
Seeing who's naughty and nice?
No, he's been naughty, so he's trying to make nice.
Okay.
Meanwhile, he's seeing a shrink, and it doesn't seem to be helping right now.
Yeah, I can't blame her for not sharing with the shrink. I have a feeling there's more to that than meets the eye too as to why he's not sharing.
I think the shrink has something going on too.
What do you think, Ivan? What did you think of the episode?
I don't know, but I'm just saying that the shrink might have something going wrong there too.
No, I think she's just a shrink. It's something going on with Bucky. Obviously, he's not opening up to anybody. You know, he lost.
Really?
You know, I mean, he got his friend back, and then he lost him again.
Well, the biggest problem is
in the blink of an eye.
The biggest problem is Bucky needs to hit that. Because that Asian woman was absolutely smoking, and he needed to be all over that. And, well, anyway. I mean,
more just fantasies at 11.
No, I mean, it just... I mean, I get it. He's like 109 years old or whatever the hell it is, but, you know, it's like... I mean, he makes jokes. It's like, I haven't been on a date since the 40s. Well, dude, she's clearly into you. Let's go. Obviously, let's go not while we're young, because you're old. But anyway.
He's going on his own time, man.
I guess.
And this one clocked at, 49 minutes or so?
Did it? Okay.
Yeah, and of course,
well,
no post-credit, but that's okay. We'll save some of that for later. We'll get some goodies towards the end, I'm sure.
I want to be clear about something. I did enjoy the episode. I do like where things are going. I'm interested to see what they do. I just felt like, you guys can't be this... I mean, I understand...
You think the characters are just dumbed down? They just dumbed them down?
After everything that Sam has gone through and all the shit he's dealt with the United States American government, to not think they ain't got something up their sleeve that they're working on and coming up with on their own.
Well, someone made a promise or something, and obviously promises were not kept. And
I think that's going to be the second
episode.
We'll find out.
SpongeBob.
We'll find out, hopefully, in later episodes, what happened, why Sam was all like, "Oh, I thought someone told me this was going to happen." But
well, and the other thing is too. Well, you know, he's obviously Don Cheadle's going to be in there playing Rhodey, and it looks like that'll be more than a couple of episodes because. I can't imagine that that's not immediately who he turns to and goes, "What the blankety blank was this?" This
right?
Okay. The other thing that we haven't talked about is it Flag Smasher? Is that the bad guy that we're seeing? I know they're called the Flag Smashers, but I feel like there's a Flag Smasher Captain America villain, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm intrigued enough. I thought I heard rumors, and I thought I heard stuff about.
That's the name. That's the name of the villain.
Right, but I was under the impression I've heard rumors about Baron Zemo as well coming back.
Yeah, that's what I thought
about Zemo coming back. So that Zemo might be involved too. I thought I saw even like a ski mask that looked like the Zemo mask at one point in some of the trailers. So. I don't know if at some point he pops back in or what. I'm looking forward to it. I feel like he was like the most underrated MCU villain of all the MCU villains. I thought he was, I hate to say it, he was probably the most effective of all of them.
Yeah, he broke up the Avengers.
Yeah. I mean, that scene at the end of Civil War where he was like, "You failed." And he's like, Did I? Did I fail? Are you sure? Because they all look pretty broken up to me.
Just in time for the big purple guy to show up and
just in time for Grimace to show up.
Right.
But
it was fine. We'll see what happens in later episodes.
Yeah, just for the purple Grimace guy to be one meal short of a Happy Meal and take all the toys out of it and snap the world out of it, the galaxy out of existence. Stack that one.
Mm-hmm. So, so that was my week. Ivan, what about you?
Well, let's see. Sunday, I saw a spectacular movie. Okay, it was called The Air That I Breathe. Have you guys ever heard of it?
Nope.
The Air That I Breathe. It has Kevin Bacon, Forrest Whitaker, Brendan Fraser. Okay, all this is filmed, on location in Mexico, and I'm telling you, words escape me. I mean,
which movie is this again?
The Air I Breathe.
Oh, why do I feel... okay, this sounds like... Okay.
Movie's from 2007.
Is it? Okay.
It has only 10% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, I mean, for me, I just it was because it had a lot of really knee-jerk moments in it.
Mm-hmm.
Very violent, both on the, on the vision on the screen and just in the sound effects and everything, just very in your face. But it's about four people and how the universe tends to connect them up in certain activities, from one story to the next. And then the amazing thing is that it does a total 180 and brings you right back to the beginning. And it's just like, I was speechless. It was like good. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And then, Julie and we talked about it, and then she goes, there was another movie called Chase, I think it was called. And I think it followed like the same, story design, but yeah, definitely, it struck me as hard as the Butterfly Effect, the other Brendan Fraser movie.
Okay.
Have you guys ever seen that?
I saw bits and pieces on cable of that one.
Wasn't Ashton Kutcher in the Butterfly?
No, it wasn't Brendan Fraser. No, it was Ashton
No, it was
Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher. I always get them two mixed up. I'm sorry.
Maybe because they have the same syllables in their first and last names.
Well, not exactly. Come on.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, just
wow.
They haven't turned there, Mike. So anyway, how do I recuperate from that? Yeah, but it was just a very engaging movie. Just, kept me there from start to finish. It's very thought provoking. It's very cerebral. But then, when you put it against what's happening in current America now, it does ring a valid point, within its story, within its frame, and
what's that?
Yeah, definitely, just how, we don't think about things connecting at any particular point, but it's like this movie just took that idea and says, well, what if we connected them and see what they would create?
Okay.
In these four different scenarios. See, I don't want to give a whole lot of it away because it's that good. It's 5 Yeah Man's good to me, All
right.
And so that being said, yeah, that was a viewing pleasure. Let's see, I went to Modern Cannabis. I had my first trip to the dispensary. It was very interesting.
Okay, this ought to be good.
Yeah, so it was, for me to, it was like Julie's like, well, if you're going to the dispensary, Ivan, okay, all right, you need to find a way there. And I'm like, I understand. So I went ahead and I got an Uber. And, so then, they tell me that I have to go to the, Milwaukee side of the street. Well, here it is, I make my way around the corner because, the Uber driver took me to the Fullerton side of the street. So I had to stroll on over. So then I go ahead and I stand up there, and there's a guard right out front. Okay, I mean, she reminded me of the one in Police Academy. The short black girl, the one that just little in voice but big in action.
Don't move, dirtbag. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, and then of course she looks and goes, medicinal or recreational? I go, recreational.
Does it matter?
Yeah, there is a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, and so anyway, so I go, no, recreational. He goes, okay, you stand here. Here comes this lady. She's like, she had to have been 90 years old. And she looks at me and goes, you're holding up the line. I'm like, damn. So, 90-year-old lady, Yes, medicinal. Like
You're holding up the line, Kitty. Get out of my way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, little attitude. So anyway, I get inside, and then the guard goes, "Okay, out with the arms." So I put my arms out. They go ahead and they check you for everything. They make you take whatever stuff out of your pocket, like the airport. Okay.
Did they do a body cavity search?
No cavity searches. No funny fingers anywhere.
They didn't part the Red Sea then.
No. But anyway,
let my people go.
Let my people go. Anyway, so here we go. So we go ahead and I go walking down the way, and there's a lady, and she goes, "Okay, stand at the X." I'm like, "Okay." Goes, let me see your ID. So you're the ID, and then she goes, "Is there anything I need to see?" And I go, "Well, I got my receipt." And she goes, "Oh, okay, all right, just go ahead."
Wait,
and sit.
You didn't buy anything yet. How do you have a receipt?
Because I had it on my phone because I had bought it in advance.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I bought
You buried the lead. So wait, you bought the stuff. Wait, hold on a second. You can go online and buy all this shit and then show up and pick it up?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. You can also get it sent to your house, too. I didn't know that.
Hot to go. Got it. All right. No, I don't think I knew that. Did you?
Yeah,
buy?
delivery. I know. The pickup's great because delivery is like so slow, man.
Oh my god, yeah.
But anyway, so it's like, so I'm good.
Although it's great when delivery shows up at the same time as the pizza. Then it's all good.
Then who's going to complain then? So anyway, I go ahead and going into the zigzag motions of 6 feet in between chairs, going up this like one chair to another chair. It was like musical chairs, man, just going up this whole aisle. Then finally, lady looks over and goes, okay, honey, go through the door to the right. They'll buzz you in.
Are you sure you were at a dispensary and not a strip club? Because this sounds
No. It was at the dispensary. I wanted to film it, but then I felt a little funny about it.
That might have been a bad idea.
Yeah, you're just there to pick the stuff up. Why are they searching you? That's great.
Yeah, what the hell?
Okay, well, first off, you know what? It's marijuana. You got people out there that, might not come there in a favorable sensibility. So, it's very guarded. It's very checkpoint. And then once you go into the dispensary, they have you sit down and they call you by name. And so then once they call my name, I went around the corner.
Doesn't sound fun.
No, wait. It is. It's a lot of fun.
Doesn't sound fun. This sounds scary. I mean, it sounds really scary. It's like, wow.
Well, no, because a lot of people, wait a minute. It's because this is the recreational side, okay? So, for those
no, that's what scares me. What does the medicinal side look like? It's like even more anal?
No, the medicinal side, people walk in, get their shit, and they walk out. No extra tax. Hello?
Wait, they just walk in and walk out without any problem, but if you want recreational, you gotta go through all this other garbage?
You gotta go through the hoops, yeah, you do. I didn't know this until I went. This is my first time I ever went. So anyway, so after I got inside, sat down, they called my name, came on over, and then I showed them my receipt, and they're like, "Oh, those were yesterday's prices. Well, we can't honor that today." And I says, "No, this is what you're going to honor me now because I bought this already. So I'm picking it up." And she just looked at me, gets the manager over.
Wait, the prices change day to day?
Yeah, it depends on what they got for sale or what they're going to do for bargains and things like that. I mean, they do bargains and things like that. You can get several things at one time for a price, or you could get this and this for a price, And the thing about it is you also can choose your potency.
We got this Kentucky Bluegrass pot. It's phenomenal. It's on sale today. Yesterday we had the Bahama Blue. It was also very good.
Yeah, that's it.
But now that price is up more.
Well, see, that's it. That's pretty much it, Jeff. You hit it right on the head. Okay? And that's just what that sensibility is. And so I got my shake. I got my 7.8 grams worth of shake, which means I don't have to grind it. I don't have to do nothing to it except tip it into my pipe and off I go. and I got a 26 potency rate, which basically I'm about red eye after about half a bow in. So let's
See,
just
this
say,
doesn't sound, Mike, does this sound fun to you at all?
No.
I know. I'm expecting it to like be like, you walk in and it's like there's like aisles and you can buy shit and it's like there's all kinds of stuff.
You're talking about the glass shops. That's
no.
right. Then
No, I mean you can buy like edibles too, right? You don't have to buy it like what you're talking about, right?
You can buy edibles, you can buy chocolate, you can buy cupcakes, you can buy ding dongs, you can buy zingers, you can buy
right, but you made it sound like basically you just sit there, you get your stuff, and it sounds really like going to the fucking doctor than going like to the store or like having a good time. I mean,
no, that's just the fact of the matter of having done it for the first time. Yeah, it was kind of a strange situation because, all right, I mean, it was what it was. This was totally unexpected. I'm just giving you the bare bones of what I do, it's all I know how to do anymore. And so it just comes down to this whole situation. Yeah, you're doing the recreational to have your ID, be ready, to, be waiting for a while. And of course, it's always best to buy it in advance. So that way, once you get there, you don't have to spend as much time, going through all of these situations. I don't know if every dispensary is like this because I've heard stories of other dispensaries where it's more in and out and more like a store, but
right, that's what I was expecting. I was expecting more of a store or like a bar or like a hangout kind of joint than what you're talking about. I mean, what you're talking about sounds like okay, the secret password today is numbnuts.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it has a very strange kind of a vibe. I mean, you don't know if you want to call it a clinic or if you just dispensary. It just seems a little, because it was carved out of an old club. So I walked in and I saw the stage, and you know what I thought? I'm thinking, wow, here's a place for me to spin some records.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, some of the places, the way they make it sound is like, it's like you can hang out there. It's really comfy. They got couches. That's what I hear about stuff like in some of these other states where they've had stuff. And it's like, you're making it sound like, okay, sounds like going to the airport.
With the elevated crime rate in the city right now. That might be part of it.
Could be. It could be. It could be that location. I don't know. I'm just surprised because it sounds
okay. Well, see, you got to consider, too, when you're in Chicago, and especially, Logan Square is a bit of a hot spot. And so it just goes right down to, well, we're going to try to do this in a way that, without it already being any more obtrusive than it is already. But, is it something I'm going to do again? Probably not. But, it's just, it seemed like a lot for such efforts, I mean, and then of course, I can just keep my other parties, and take care of their small business a lot better, I guess
I just laugh because I'm like sitting here, I'm like, it's like, okay, I went to the dispensary, I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. And like, I'm like, kind of listen to you. I'm like, this don't sound fun.
Stand on the X, wait here. You're holding up the line. It's like the DMV, pretty much.
Yeah,
exactly. There you go. It's like the DMV. Exactly.
How did it become the DMV? That's ridiculous.
Bro, I just want my weed, man.
Yeah.
But you know what's amazing though? I mean, I thought I would see more people, kind of loopy and smoking, when I go there and stuff like that. No, I used to see all these different cross section of people that are in there. I mean, you got all manner of different type of people, just waiting to just get there, get their nug and go because it's such a beautiful day.
Yeah, don't piss off that 90-year-old lady. She might kick your ass because you're in the way.
The 90-year-old lady, man, I mean, she came in, she was long gone before I got out of there. And, so it's just that type of a thing. So, like I said, I was kind of hoping for something like that too there, Jeff, but no, apparently.
I mean, like, where's the dancing girls and shit like that? Where's all the crazy stuff,
I don't know, dude. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I'm just telling you what happened. And that was my experience at the dispensary, though as, not as bells and whistles as as like the sensibility would make it, but, but it's a great place to get something when you're in a pinch. Other than that, let's see. Let me see. My daughter Soraya took me and Julie out to La Villa. Got to do La Villa. That was cool. Hugo Elvis was performing in the bar room, which was kind of nice. But, the thing about it was just one of those moments where it just kind of happened. Hey, Dad, gonna come your way. Go to La Villa. Bye. I'm like, okay. So, but at least,
What's La Villa?
La Villa, it's Italian food.
Okay.
La Villa.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's Italian food. Yeah.
So when I hear La Villa, my first reaction is not Italian food. I'm like, oh, Mexican
La Villa, yeah, it's an Italian
La
word.
Vida.
Yeah.
La Vida.
Right.
Okay.
What'd you eat?
Well, I had chicken parmesan.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I had. Chicken parmesan with some veggies and some good warm bread and let's see, and then let me see, Soraya had mussels, which was a shock to me because I didn't know she ate them, but she did. And then let me see, then Julie, I think she had spaghetti. Yeah.
So you say you didn't stay for Hugo Elvis?
Well, I kind of popped my head in, as they were getting the order together and stuff. So I just kind of weaved in and around everybody and stuff, kind of doing the monks shuffle around, amongst the people.
Yeah, was it crowded in there?
Yeah.
Really?
Uncomfortably crowded. Okay, so I was jumping a little out of my shoes. So then, I go over there and I kind of wave, hey, and it's just like, hey, how's it going? And so then it's just like so I figured I was going to meet up with him later. And then I met up with his mom, Paula Colin, also his manager. And she goes, oh, yeah, Hugo, he came in here, but he zoomed right to the car. He's not really big about the mask thing. I'm like, oh, okay. So I didn't get a chance to talk to him.
And then he ran into Paul Chiminello.
Yeah, well, he's actually really good. If you just look on the website, Hugo Elvis, he's really very good. He's done some competitions. He used to do some stuff over at Manners Cafe. I have a whole bunch of footage. I awarded a microphone to him, so that was, good guy. He was 16 then. He's about 19 now. But, and he still got it down. Really good, entertaining guy. Good guy. Hugo Elvis, folks. Anybody, HugoElvis.com. Check it out. What else? So, aside from that, just finding that I have an irresistible urge to eat a bunch of raspberry zingers. And, I fixed my Tascam 32 4-track recorder. Yay, my belts and my pinch roller came in. Put that motherfucker together, and boy, I got it cranking. Oh, does it sound good?
Yeah, I saw you put a Facebook Live up.
Oh man, I was so fucking happy. I mean, those were from Leaf. Those were the ones that were in the transmitter room. They were leaving them out there to die. I forgot what his name was. Anyway, so I asked the guy. It says, yeah, my tank. He goes, shit, go ahead. They're going to throw them in the dumpster anyway. I'm like, shit, I'm not on my watch. They are. Fast forward to years later and everything. They're here. And I went on Evil Day and found the pinch roller belt assembly for $14. I'm like, fuck yeah, all right. Yeah. And, go ahead and put it together. And man, I've been jamming out tapes all afternoon while, tearing out the console out of the bedroom, and I'm putting it back into the front room. So as we speak, so there you go. There's my and of course, we went to Becca de Lupo, another Italian place for Gracie's birthday on Sunday.
Yeah, that ain't cheap.
No, you ain't shit.
That place is expensive.
Yeah, 264 bones, dude. Okay, but you know what? Was worth every penny. Was worth every penny. Julie and I, we split it down the middle, so it was cool. And we had the lasagna, we had the shrimp linguine, we had the we had pasta fasul. Let's see, we had the cheesecake. There was one drizzled in raspberry sauce. The other one was like chocolate and like some kind of white frosting and everything. And let's see, what else was there? I think we did buy the chicken cacciatore. Yeah, that's what that was. And then we had the big salad. Salad was awesome, dude. I mean, never crunched into so much good greenage. Tell you.
Since you've been to the dispensary, then.
Well, no. What happened was, okay, I went there. When did I go? I went Saturday. Okay, and then let me see. I was nippy by 4, and let me see.
You got hungry, so you got you had to go get some good food.
Really.
So I went out and got some good food, and of course, Soraya didn't oblige, so that was groovy. Yeah. And then Sunday we were taking Gracie to look at the Becco de Lupa. I can't even say the name right.
Buca de Beppo.
Buca de Beppo. Okay, there it is. So anyway, so then I'm getting some good food here, and of course, I'm finding that I don't really need a whole lot, but it does make everything feel really, really good. It really does.
Yeah. I mean, you spin it all this week, or you just put the live up of the reel to reel you fixed?
I will be on well, by the time this airs, I would have been on already. I'm going to be on Tuesday.
Okay.
And I'm going to be on Tuesday for the 60s experience, as voted by the members, who, of course, they could go anywhere they want to go. But where do they want to go? The 60s.
They want to go to Boomerland.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, okay, folks, and because if you've ever watched any of my other experiences on Twitch, I tend to try to go to other musical territories, but the Wednesday Temple House is probably going to be of interest to you guys. And that's the one where I'm going to be doing the Rat Pack. I'm going to be doing D. Martin. I'm going to be doing Frank. I'm going to be doing Sammy Davis Jr., Mel Torme, Steve Lawrence, John Gary, all them cats,
So you're going to be playing them, not doing them, because that's kind of kinky.
Well, I'm going to play the records. Come on now. Anyway, so yeah, but I'll be
Hey, I don't know what you're up to. You could be exhuming them from the dead or something and doing something crazy. I have no idea.
Only you would think about that, Jeff. Oh, my goodness. Anyway.
Hey, you're the one who sat there and said, I'm doing this one, I'm doing that one. I'm like, what?
He's playing the records, not doing
I'm playing the records. Anyway, so
playing the records. Got it. Okay, that's what he means.
Yeah, play the records, Jeff.
Yeah.
So anyway,
you should play them backwards and see what happens.
Yeah.
Play them backwards.
I don't know. See if they.
Then all satanic messages in the Rat Pack songs.
No, I don't think
it's just
messages.
It's just like messages from Sinatra going like, "Yeah, I fucked Marilyn Monroe, bitch." Kennedy, right. I fucked him.
So, Jeff, how was your week?
How was my week? Let's see. So couple things.
I stood outside.
What?
I said I stood outside.
Did I? Yeah, at some point I stood outside. I did.
I sat down.
Yep, did that too. I also learned that my stomach is not as cast iron as it used to be. People don't listen to the show enough, so I can get away with this one. So they brought me in for 3 days of testing of mac and cheese. And you know what the worst part is? You know what the worst part is? Here's the worst part. The worst part is the best sample I got was the first one.
It was all downhill from there.
Every sample after that was not nearly as good as the first sample for 3 days
That's
straight.
a lot of cheese. That's a lot of dairy.
A lot of cheese, dude. Oh, the lactose, those got to be off the charts, man.
Yeah, no, I've learned. I started to learn there's a level of of dairy I can do physically at my. I thought I figured, okay, 3 days I could parse that out. It wouldn't be so bad. Versus the day that they made me eat all the ice cream in 2 hours, that was bad. Although that was awesome, but yet bad at the same time. I was like, oh God!
Killing me softly with dairy, killing me softly with dairy. Eating the cheese now.
Well,
the dairy eating the cheese.
I mean, but in fairness, it was the good mac and cheese. I mean, it was like one of the better brands that I was like.
Okay, so I guess I kind of take.
But yeah, the point being is like
out of it.
Well, I mean, the only thing, like I said, the thing that was frustrating is when the best sample is the first one of the day, and it's like your reaction is, "This is gonna be the greatest thing I've ever done. This is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna get paid, and they can't. And if this is the start, I can't wait to taste the rest of this stuff." And I never thought, okay, that's the high level. And from there, it just kind of never reaches that level again.
Doesn't reach that. You reached the zenith already.
Yeah, I mean, we've already gone over the top of the mountain, and everything's going downhill and not in a good way. And again, I mean, that's not to say some of them were
ejaculation of cheese. Oh my God.
Well, like I said, and I want to be clear, it's not that what I tasted was bad. It was just the first sample was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, that sample was like a 25, and the rest of them after that paled in comparison. The rest of the days. So that there's that, and then I did some gaming on Saturday in the afternoon and Saturday night, which it was funny. It was right after that, and I was like, whoa. So I'm trying to game, and I was a little bit tired too. So my gaming experience that day was not as spectacular as I would like it to be. But you know, we did do some RPG, and it was a good time, even though I was like half out of it. Sunday night, we did the debut on Clubhouse of Sunday Night Stories, and wow, some incredible stories on Sunday night. We had Anthony Waite, we had Fraser Pushkar, we had Aditya Surendra, and we had Sporty King. And I know you guys don't know those names, but they are some really great storytellers. We had about 20 for our first time through for the inaugural, and there's a few kinks that'll need to get worked out. But, you know, for a first show, I'll take it. I thought it worked out pretty well. And next Sunday night we'll do it again. We have some really phenomenal tellers for that show, too. And I'm starting to book out for other shows as well. So, you know, there's that. I'm questioning whether or not I'm going to stick around. I've been watching Riverdale, and they did that move 7 years into the future thing on the show.
They did a time jump?
The time jump, and the choices they made on what they decided to do with the time jump were not ones that I would have gone with. And it actually, in fairness, they fit great for a CW audience in some ways, and for what they did. But I really thought they could have done a lot more with it and been a lot more interesting. I mean, you could have done anything after 7 years. You could have done a lot of interesting stuff, and instead they made some choices that I literally am like, I don't understand why you think this is good TV. But okay. I like the characters too much. We're into season 5. I'll watch a little bit longer, but if this gets any, based on where they've left everything, I'm just like, sometimes I'm sitting there during the weekend going, why am I watching this show? And the only thing I can come up with is I've been invested enough in the characters to watch the show.
What season is this now?
I think we're in season 5. And I can't, I'm sure that there are people who are in the younger demographic for that show who are enjoying it just fine. I'm just kind of like, eh. There were a few shows I didn't get to this past week that are still sitting on my
I didn't catch episode 4 of Superman and Lois yet.
It was good. It was solid. I enjoyed episode 4. They seem to have kind of, episode 3 has it seems to be where they've started to find their footing a little bit. I enjoyed the 4th episode. There's still some things that, it does seem like it's gonna be have their CW-ness of it all, and we'll see. But it's funny, like, I'm just not feeling certain shows right now. Like, I feel like Nancy Drew jumped the shark too. Like, they spend way too much time on, like, this supernatural stuff, and it's like, there's a lot of other ways you could go with interesting stuff for Nancy Drew that you didn't have to basically make the entire show about all kinds of crazy supernatural bullshit all the time. And that's what it's become now. And that's disappointing. The Black Lightning show is in its final season. And I hate to say it, you can kind of tell. I'm not feeling, I don't know, I'm not feeling The Flash either. I don't even know what I'm in fairness, this is the reason it's sitting on DVR at the moment. Because I'm not kind of sitting there feeling this at the moment. It's kind of just there, and so, we'll see. I'm kind of questioning some of the choices, and it's funny because I saw something, and we'll talk about. I guess we could talk about it now. I guess there's a story out of from Deadline that they've recast Kate Kane for Batwoman, to which I'm just kind of laughing about this because it's like, boy, you better tread lightly. Your show's having enough trouble as it is getting people to watch. And now you're bringing back Kate Kane with a different actress other than Ruby Rose, which is easily explainable considering there was a plane crash. But you went out and got the other woman to play Batwoman, and now you're going to bring back, I hate to say it this way, the white woman who was Batwoman beforehand. You got a woman of color who's playing Batwoman now. You better be careful, because this could go really, really the wrong direction and poorly really, really fast. And
maybe she's just there for a cameo, just like to get the one line in.
I don't think so. And in fairness, I'm not going to go check it, figure it out. I mean,
be like, take that cowl and wig, give me that back.
I mean, the part I laugh about is supposedly it's renewed for season 3, but the numbers are so bad.
I know.
I don't know. I don't see this surviving. And in fairness, I couldn't.
And you
do it
stopped
after
watching.
I stopped watching. And in fairness, a lot of the stuff with the CW stuff right now, where I'm like, I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of like sitting there going, why am I watching this show? And there have been quite a few of those lately where I'm like, why am I watching this? I don't feel like this is as good as it used to be. And I'm slowly but surely reevaluating some of the stuff I'm watching on TV. On the other hand, I began season 2 of House of Cards, which is an older show, and that it's really well done. And if you've got a chance to watch it on Netflix, I'm not all the way. I'm about 2 or 3 episodes into season 2, and who's like the 2-time Oscar winner guy. I can't remember the guy's name. The black guy. I can't remember his name. But he's in there.
Denzel?
No, not Denzel.
Idris Elba?
No, the guy from the Green Book. I can't.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah. I don't know the name of the actor.
Right. I can't remember his name, but that guy's in there. Yeah, like I said, there's some interesting people in there, and it's a solid series. But yeah, that's kind of been my week, and then obviously sat down and spent 4 hours that I'm not sure I really wanted to spend. So, there's that.
Okay. Yeah. The situation being now is, I guess we can get into what we're going to get into, me and Jeff. The subject we've been discussing for the last 3 years, almost since it came out, or whatever, even months after.
I mean, there's a couple things. There's a couple things we can talk about before we get there, if you want. And then, like, for example, it looks as though the GenCon Game Fair will be happening here in 2021, but they're moving it back to mid-September. But it's still
going to be an indie.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like they're going to. Limit the numbers, but that's still a large gathering in a state where the rules are kind of lax. So, kind of curious your guys' take on that.
Yeah, that and they had a similar situation where last year TFCon Chicago was canceled. It was moved to October. This actually is on my Facebook memories. Just popped up as they moved it to. They announced it for October of this year, but then they canceled it. But TFCon, they've already planned. It'll be in Baltimore in October, and it's a little far of a drive for me, so I'm not doing it. But these conventions, it's still touch and go, and with more and more people being eligible. Yes, I got on a list, so I'm on the list to get the vaccine. But I know people more and more of my coworkers are getting it. Of course, they're all elderly. And one of my friends, he was a vet, so he got his because he was at the VA, and they're like, "Hey, you want the shot?" He's like, "Okay." So more and more people are getting the vaccine, and it's becoming more available to people not just the high risk people and the older people.
Well, that's good.
So I don't know. We've got a con coming in 2 weeks, and it's a really small show, so I'm not worried about that. And it was in September, so. But for larger cons, like in that epic level, I know GenCon's gotten huge since it left Milwaukee. I've been kind of been in the back of my head, and we talked about this for years about, I thought about going to Indy one year, but I changed my mind. And now they moved to September, so who knows where the numbers are going to be by August, so. I
think it's a jury is still out kind of thing. Just like I know that the Origins Game Fair is also pushed back a little bit, and they're talking about trying to do live. I was just curious if either one of you. I mean, in fairness, things can change quite a bit, but based on where things are now, I'm still kind of like saying there. And if there are people who want to go, more power to them. I just don't. I don't see it.
I'm still shaky in the last couple of experiences I had over this weekend. And as nice as they would have been more nice if I was more secure. Yeah, it was just very unnerving for me, and I'm just talking being in restaurants and such, Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's like I drove past the restaurant coming home from work the other day, and it was crowded. Like they're out here by me. There's seating and people are first they all got masks on because when you're not at your table you got to have your mask on.
Right.
And when people are I saw a crowd of people walking out of a restaurant. Of course, I was like, wow. I was like, huh? But they're practicing it. If you want, people want to go, fine. But we've not had the super spreader events that we all thought was going to be happening. This was a year ago into year on, so.
Right.
Well, like I said, that's one of the reasons I mentioned it. And then there is a little bit of some Star Wars stuff, which is there are a few things that got announced that are moving to Disney Plus, and one of them I think is interesting is and because really it's been so rare to find it, the short cartoon from the holiday special, the one that's like verboten, that like Lucas was like, will be struck from all annals of time.
The introduction of Boba Fett.
Right. So that actually is now on Disney Plus.
It's on there now?
Yes.
Wow, I should check that out. Actually, I'm not going to do that right now, but I got to take care of something. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to Disney Plus. No.
Right. But the point being is, so that's it's interesting that, I don't know that the rest of the special is on there, but that cartoon is now on Disney Plus. So that's kind of neat. It's nice to finally have that out there, because it was the one piece where it's like, this is technically the first appearance of Boba Fett, and it was kind of scrubbed or unavailable or all that kind of stuff. And
it's kind of shelved for a long time.
Well, it's been shelved for a really long time because, and it was funny because it's the one thing that everybody took. There's a couple things about the holiday special, which is one, I demand the Mos Eisley singing Cantina with B. Arthur at all times. I demand it. And this is the other thing that everybody was, but this is, in fairness, this is the one that everybody talks about is usually, it's like, oh, it's too bad. The cartoon in there with Boba Fett and everything was really, really good. And it's too bad that, that isn't available somehow. That it isn't because of the whole thing. And so, the only other thing I can think of is there was a story, and again, take it with a grain of salt, and we've heard this before about Disney talking about striking episodes 7, 8, and 9, and then basically rewriting what would be 7, 8, 9 again, and then doing it as a Disney Plus thing.
Why would you want to do that? Why?
Well,
what would they hope to get out of this whole experience of rewriting it, just because it's the same but different?
Well, okay, so that kind of brings us to what we're going to probably talk about next, which is, well, there's some people who didn't like what they saw and what they got from 7, 8, 9 because of certain things that were done. And that supposedly there's some footage that they could rework some things and make some changes.
Obviously, when in the course of The Mandalorian, they were setting up for the new order. There's obviously we're set up because we're in the last, what they call remnants of the Empire. So they're setting things up for the prequel trilogy or the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. So I mean, personally, at this point, my feeling is, if they want to do it, go for it. I don't think they should. I mean, I don't know. I'm curious your take, Mike, because my thought at this point is, if they want to do it, that's fine. That doesn't change the fact that those movies came out and the people
they exist, and there's so many. Like you look around at videos from Star Wars Celebration. The most cosplayers, the people that are
the most cosplayer used.
The two most popular cosplays are Rey and Kylo Ren. I mean, it's the new blood, and of course whenever the next Star Wars Celebration is going to happen somewhere on the planet, you're going to see a lot of Mandalorians. Obviously, but I mean, the sequel trilogy has its fan base, and there are a lot of people. The problem is that Star Wars fans don't hate Star Wars nearly as much as Star Wars fans hate Star Wars.
Yeah,
I mean, you get that infighting from everywhere, all aspects, except maybe the exception of the Harry Potter movies. I think because that's all kind of the same
until they decide to do something.
The Fantastic Beast or whatever. Some people are fans of the Fantastic Beast movies. Like, no, it steps on Rowling's. But I mean, like, you got the Star Trek people who don't like Discovery. You get the Transformer people who like the Bay movies and don't like G1, the original stuff from the 80s. And you get the Star Wars people, and they're always gonna they've found that formula. They're always gonna go back to the original trilogy because that's where the bread and butter is of the fandom.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Look, they went away from They went away from what originally Lucas gave them as a suggestion as to what to do and where to go and what to build around. And to me, I kind of laugh because it's like, what I laugh the hardest about is, hey, if you're going to do this, then go ahead and give us here, ready? Do it as animation. Do it as animation with the characters. And give us what Lucas wanted was originally his thought for 7, 8, 9. Do that too. Let's see what that would have looked like. Why not? And this will dovetail perfectly into what we're going to next, which is, hey, the Snyder Cut has proven that everybody wants something that they want. So, that the nerd world,
you
has their thoughts
give
on
the
it.
fans what they want, and they're still not happy.
Yeah, well,
it's just
there's
no pleasing everybody. There's no
the irony is they're not. The irony is though they're still watching it though.
No.
So.
Marley, still trying.
Marley, go get him, Marley.
No, don't attack Ivan. Hey, Ivan.
Well, if he's got the bowl, he wants it. He's got some of the edibles. He's coming after him.
So Star Wars news, yay, but meh.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's real. Who knows?
I don't think they're ready and willing to just pitch the whole sequel trilogy.
Yeah, I don't think so either. No. I think it's.
But the thing is that Star Wars Rebels, they did something that had never been done before in Star Wars, and that's time travel. And time travel sets up for changing, like, the multiverse or whatever.
Or creating one. Yeah, something like
Ivan, you moving furniture over there? What are you doing?
Moving some stuff around.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right, so...
Justice.
Time
for justice.
Time for justice, yeah.
It's justice time.
Yeah, I guess it's time.
It's time to release the Snyder Cut review.
Yeah.
So, initially, I thought it was going to drop on Friday, but it dropped on Thursday.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
Ivan.
Yes.
What's going on, man?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that. I was surprised. I didn't realize it was going to drop on Thursday. Apparently, it did.
Yeah, on Thursday, of course, I worked early in the day, so I'm like, okay, I'll do this. So I watched it all, and I had to. Thank goodness I was able to pause it twice. But I got through it all on Thursday night. And, Gesundheit.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, my initial thoughts were, it's good. And I had to stew on it for a while. And
okay,
we're seeing it through the lens of, and of course it has the odor of the Joss Whedon, and you're seeing it through the lens of the original cut. I mean, had I not seen, I can go back in time and tell myself, no, don't see this film, and then wait until 2021. I'm like, what?
But
for 4 years, 4 hours, for 3 years. I was in 2018, so 19, so almost 4 years now. 3 maybe that's of waiting and all the rumors and all the hype. In my opinion, it was good. It had some epic new moments, but I think it was just good.
I can give you good. The problem that I'm having with is the people who are sitting there talking about it like it's vindication. We should get the whole Snyder universe back. Look at all the things that it cost us and how this was all wrong and this and that and all this stuff. And how this was, the Snyderverse was going to be great. And I don't know. No, I don't buy any of that. And in fairness, if anything, well, and now I'm going to be clear. I'm not saying that we didn't get a great job. I'm not saying that at all. But I now understand what he and Berg and Johns were trying to do when they made the changes that they made. Yeah, and I get it.
Yeah, we understand what they were doing.
I get it entirely. I entirely get what their thought process was and what they were trying to do and why they were trying to do it and what they were trying to make work. Because I'll tell you right now, no one was going to sit. I'm sorry. I don't care what any of these people say. No one was sitting 4 hours in the movie theater to watch this thing.
Negative.
Nobody.
Nope.
Nobody.
Maybe if they cut it down to like 3:15.
It was a chore to watch Endgame.
It wasn't a chore for me to watch Endgame. It was a chore for
chore.
bladder. I'm talking just for bladder control.
I gotta be honest. That middle part of Endgame is long and boring, and it doesn't do much for me. When I watch it on Disney Plus, it's like I literally fast forward through sections there because it's just like, all right, come on, let's get to the good stuff. And that becomes the problem. And I don't know. Like I said, Mike, to me, the part I laugh about is if you don't know anything about Cyborg and you don't know anything about the Flash, yes, you needed all this stuff.
Well, I think they fleshed out, well, to coin a phrase, I mean, they fleshed out Cyborg. They gave him a mini origin story. Actually, every one of the heroes had a little moment. They had a little hero moment, like when the Flash saved what's her name in the car crash at the beginning, Cyborg, and he's got these powers. He obviously manipulated the funds for that lady he saw through the video cameras because she was destitute. Of course, we had Wonder Woman's and Batman's. Well, not so much Batman. Wonder Woman had her moment, like the whole heist scene in London or wherever. We took from that scene. That's almost pretty much verboten of what happened. But they did add blood. I did notice that there was blood, and a few F-bombs were dropped because this being not a movie theater. So
right.
I think they allow one for PG-13. So I guess this is. I don't know if this is R-rated.
No, it wasn't. It was R. It was R.
Okay. Good.
It was listed as R. It's listed as R on there.
Okay.
And I just don't feel like forgive me, I don't feel like I need that stuff. And in fairness, it was funny because my mom wanted to watch, because, Wonder Woman's in it. My mom likes Wonder Woman, okay?
Yeah.
Because she liked the first movie. Okay. Well, but she liked the first Wonder Woman movie. And I gotta tell you, within 10 minutes, she was like, yeah, I don't care. I don't even know what they're talking about. I'm so lost. And you know what? She's not wrong. If you don't know, if you didn't remember anything about the previous movies, and you did, or you were coming to this cold, that beginning part doesn't work.
Of course, you don't know why Superman's dying at the very beginning of Justice League, unless you watch BVS. But that's just who wants to watch BVS again? I mean, I have the ultimate cut or whatever you want to call it, but I never got around to it. I have the disc right here.
I know people who, true story, I know people who literally got out their Man of Steel, got out their BVS, got out their Wonder Woman, and watched those movies before they watched the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
I think
fine
these
with that.
people are crazy. I think these people are crazy. But okay.
Well, this did make me want to watch. Of course, towards the end when we got Clark back, You know, by the end of this movie, it's like, yeah, I want to watch Man of Steel again. I mean, when you get that his music again, you know, and boom, 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 it's like, yeah, it's cool. Why am I going to watch Man of Steel again? I don't think I think I'm done with. I don't need to go back to watch BVS.
I'm kind of, you know, it's funny because there's been an announcement today as we're doing the taping that there isn't going to be any more Snyder Universe movies. And I gotta say, I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful for it. I really am. And I know a lot of people, I'm taking a lot of hits for that, but I'm not seeing where we got that much from what was done to where we need more Snyder. I don't know. I still don't really like the direction this is going with this his idea of what happens to the Justice League at some point, where there's this apocalyptic future.
Yeah, the nightmare they want to call it.
The nightmare scenario that everybody, right? And then they show it again. You know, they again bring this back again at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not. I just don't know that I buy any of that. I mean, you know, if anything, the one thing I would say is this movie reminds me that yes, between the back and forth between Leto and Affleck and what we and what we saw in Suicide Squad. Yes, I would like to have seen a Ben Affleck Batman movie with Jared Leto as the Joker and Harley Quinn, and I would like to have seen it. I think it would have been a good movie. And it's unfortunate we won't get that. But that really didn't have anything to do with the Snyder thing. That had to do with the fact that Ben Affleck got into it with Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers kept insisting on pushing out the movie, and Ben Affleck's reaction was, this movie is not good enough yet. And I'm not pushing this out with my name on it if it's not good enough. And that's why that thing went sideways. Yeah,
see, but we're watching this movie through the lens of all these politics and all this infighting and all this bullshit that's going on instead of what's happening on screen.
Well, but the problem is that, I mean, I sat there and I watched it from the perspective of what I watched on screen. And I felt like it was long. I felt it was tedious. I thought it was arduous. I felt like a lot of the stuff that was in this movie at times was backstory that was created because, and it worked in a 4-hour movie, but in the end, these should have been their own entities brought into this movie. It should not have been what they ended up doing. I mean, in fairness, yeah, if this has been released first on HBO Max like this, maybe my thought process is different. But again, even then, I'm kind of sitting there going, I mean, I'm not that ooh-ah about some of this stuff like everybody else is. And I don't like the music, and I didn't, with some exceptions. There's some music here or there. But for the most part, the music choices are not inspired.
No, it's not. A lot of the music in this is forgettable, except from the themes. You know, you get a little bit of the Wonder Woman theme, and you get a little bit of one of the Superman when he's around. But everything else is like, yeah, the music just serves its function.
I mean, you don't even get the Batman themes.
Yeah, you don't get the Nolan or the.
Right, you don't get the Batman themes.
Yeah, they didn't even throw in. I remember in the Whedon, the original theatrical release of Justice League, we got a bit of that Danny Elfman. We didn't have any of that.
Well, and okay, so let's get to the other part, which is all the humor in this thing is gone. All of it.
A great deal of it, yeah.
Oh my God, all
and of it. The first hour is just like, I had to pause it like an hour and 15 minutes in. I'm like, this is dark. This is DC dark. And I was like, maybe I could get through, because I started like just before 7 p.m. and like an hour 15, I'm like, everyone's like Victor's over his parents' grave or his mother's grave, and Lois is over Superman's grave, and I'm like, oh boy, and it's just the cinematography is so bleak, and colors are muted, just like I don't know if I can get through all this in one night. I almost did like a pause and like maybe I'll get through the second half tomorrow, but I soldiered on. Little nitpicks here and there. I forgot Mara's voice was originally British, which she dropped in the Aquaman film.
Well, that's the other part that I kind of laugh about too, which is it's like, okay, there's the whole sequence with the Amazons.
Yeah,
and
that's expanded. That was cool.
Right. Well, okay, but here's the part where I kind of laugh, which is it's like, okay, here's this whole expanded sequence with the Amazons about them fighting Steppenwolf. And in the end, it seemed like when Steppenwolf goes for the box in Atlantis, Mara almost does a better job fighting him than all those Amazons.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Because Steppenwolf don't know how to fight in water, man.
Maybe, but I don't buy that. I mean, it just seems very... I don't know. I don't buy... And by the way, there's all that talk about, there's going to be an extended role for the Green Lantern. And in the end, it's like one Green Lantern, and he gets his clock cleaned. And it's all about, like, Zeus and Hippolyta and that old school fight back in the day. You know? And I'm kind of like, okay, if you say so. I don't know. I expected more lanterns. I really did. I expected more lanterns. I will say it was interesting to see that we were going to get Ryan Choi, and that they were setting up Ryan Choi, who ends up being the Atom. But it's interesting because we got Ryan Choi. We're not getting Ray Palmer, which would have been interesting. And that's an interesting way of perspective of where things were going to go with this. Was we were going to get the newer version of the Atom, not the Ray Palmer version of the Atom, which is interesting because you could have easily made Ray Palmer Asian too if you really wanted to. You could have done that. Again, I'll admit bias too on Cyborg because part of it is that Cyborg's a Titan character, and he'll always be a Titan character to me. So when I look at what they did with Cyborg in his origin story, I'm kind of sitting there going, yeah, this isn't what I'm looking for. And so I'll admit bias there. Yeah, but I don't know. I thought it was interesting that Mara pretty much can pretty much go toe-to-toe with Steppenwolf. But most of the Amazons as an entire island can't seem to do nearly as much damage. And I was like, really? That seems far-fetched. I like the Desaad stuff. I thought that was nice.
I think, like calling him once, I'm like, okay, fine. But then they call him a second time. It's like, well, did you get the boxes yet? I'm like, well, I'm working on it. But then it's all about, like, one call to Desaad would have been good. But the second one was like, all right, just give me an update. Don't have the boxes yet.
Steppenwolf does not get better in this movie.
He has a little bit of more fleshed out a little bit. I mean, we understand why he's like, the Desaad explains why Steppenwolf is on bad terms with him.
Right, which only makes him seem like a loser. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, great, you added that in. Now, not only does he, on top of the fact that he looks weird, even with all the spiky, shiny stuff.
Yeah, he's got all the armor, and that was neat. Like when he talked to Darkseid, he takes all the armor off because he's defenseless. He knows that that any arm is like. That was kind of neat in that regard when he was talking to Darkseid, and he takes the armor off.
Right. Again, like I said, just to me, it's like, okay, he's here because he's a total, basically he's a total loser.
Because they were saving Darkseid for another battle, because that was the thing too.
Right.
Because we're in the middle of finding these mother boxes and getting them together, and all of a sudden, Steppenwolf has this flashback of, this is one of the things I have wrong with this film, is that they set it up for the anti-life equation.
Yeah.
So now we're like, we don't have all the boxes yet. And now it's all like, oh no, those are the anti-life things on Earth now. It's like now everyone, Darkseid's going to want that. But he still hasn't come back to Earth.
Well,
so Darkseid does not set foot on Earth in this film, except for the flashback where he gets his ass kicked by the armies of Amazon and the Lantern.
And the flash forward that Vic has right before they bring back Superman.
Right.
Okay. Which I also thought was interesting. It's like, oh good, now you set up your apocalyptic future twice. I will say that action sequence with Darkseid was pretty badass. I will give him that. Yeah. That looked good. But like I said, I mean, it's just, there's some things that, honestly, if I was writing this movie, Kalibak would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Kalibak would have made a lot more sense, which is Kalibak is the son of Darkseid. Okay, you defeat Kalibak, and we'll get to that in a second. No, we'll get to it now. You defeat Kalibak, and if you do what Wonder Woman did, which is kill him, now you
technically Wonder Woman killed Steppenwolf. Of course, Superman just softened him up.
Well, not only does Superman soften him up, again with the Superman who doesn't seem to understand the concept of not killing, which is he basically heat visions off like his part of his head. I mean, it's funny because I got into it with somebody who writes Superman who seemed to have no problem with it today, and I'm like,
but Superman didn't kill him.
That's not Superman. No, he's down like that, and then you basically heat vision off his horn. Why? That's cruel.
He's a cruel dude.
Superman is not cruel. Oh my God, no. Well, this goes back to the whole Zack Snyder doesn't understand Superman. Again with the Jesus and God complex shit.
I'm okay with that, with the blood over from Man of Steel and BVS. He is the most powerful being on the planet. I'm okay with Superman in that regard.
No.
I mean, and it's a big reason as to why Bruce is all like, we need Batman back. We need Superman back. We won't win without him.
I understand you need Superman back. I understand you need Superman back. But again, Superman, I mean, this just goes back to, no, Snyder does not understand Superman. Just doesn't. I'm sorry, you and I are going to disagree on this.
Well, okay, we will. But I liked Man of Steel.
Man of Steel is okay until the moment he kills Zod. And then I'm like, what are you doing?
He had no choice at the time. He set it up where it was either kill Zod or he's going to kill a bunch of people.
I killed Zod.
Yeah, but see, Superman is the Boy Scout. He's the, and we know Bruce Wayne lost that rule. He's been killing people since Joker killed Boy Wonder.
Right.
In Spider-Verse. But with Superman, it's different because Superman he's still a force of good in the world. And
right, well, that's my problem that I have. That's
okay, and then I just couldn't help but listening to the alignment of his sense of duty, his goodness and everything. Do you feel that
he cut a horn off of him? It's not like he took an arm or a leg off of him.
It's part of his body. I mean, it's amazing.
One of the two epic parts of this film is when Superman, when he's just about to kill Cyborg, he says, "For Darkseid," and he swings the hammer, and Superman stops the hammer and says, "Not impressed." And he uses and he freezes the axe and shatters it. That is epic. I stood up for that. That was awesome.
Okay, well, that's pretty fucking awesome.
That's Superman. That's
pretty fucking awesome.
Right, and then everything, and then
that is good.
Yeah,
right, and then after a certain point, okay, look, he's got him on the ground. He's pounded. He's basically hit him about 15 times at that point. Mm-hmm. He's down. He's done. Knock him out. You don't have to freaking use your heat vision to basically take off half of his horn. What the hell? There's no call for that. He doesn't need to do it. He's Superman. Knock him out. I mean, I'm sorry. No, I mean, at least with Wonder Woman, I get it. I get it because Wonder Woman, and that's the part I laugh
And
about.
then
the
he
hardest is-
stoked the fire with Wonder Woman saying, "Oh, it's too bad about all your sisters and your mom, hardy har har." And she's like,
Yeah,
"Liar."
I felt like
that was cool too, trying to get her goat.
that was over the.
Man.
I like that. That's fine. Let's get Wonder Woman pissed off. Let's see what she can do.
Except the irony to me is
so you
it's
just
like
watch her get egged on.
well, but here's the thing: why not egg on Aquaman too? Why only Wonder Woman?
Yeah, Aquaman was a lot of the scenes you just kind of there, all the kind of like dead dressed like a bat. I dig it. They cut a lot of that out. A lot of the comic relief that Aquaman brought to the film was gone. Was
right.
cut out.
Right, and most of it was Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I laugh, because I think that's what Jason Momoa didn't like. And one of the reasons why he's been against Joss Whedon is because he turned Aquaman into a little bit more of a comedic character. The one scene where he's sitting there and he's admitting all his fears because he's accidentally sitting on
the lasso, yeah.
Which I think was great.
That was
and I thought
genuinely
it was a great
funny.
scene.
I admit, yeah. There were a couple of scenes. There was one thing. One of the cool things in the original one was when they brought back Superman, and he's not all there yet, and he sees Batman, and Batman's all like, the world needs Superman, and he's like, but does it need you? I mean, that was. I kind of missed that.
Well, so here's two things. No matter
you just
what
the bite of the whole situation, right?
Here's two things right off the bat. No matter which version of the movie you saw, that I literally, again, I'm laughing my ass off at. Which is, there's two things. One, okay, fine. He doesn't know the Flash. He doesn't know Aquaman. He doesn't know Cyborg.
I don't recognize Diana yet.
Right, but he doesn't recognize Diana. But somehow he recognizes Batman.
Well, Batman did try and kill him with the
yeah,
kryptonite
but
spear.
That would leave an impression, wouldn't you think?
Even if he'd saved Batman saved your mom, and we joined forces to kill Doomsday, but I'm alive now and I hate you.
Well, but again, to me, it's like. Well, no, I mean, again, that's my point. My point is
twisted.
My point is that's what you remember, and that's why you remember Batman. But you don't remember Wonder Woman at all, and Wonder Woman was a big part of that whole thing.
Yeah, it was
and
the final battle. Yeah,
right. So I'm kind of like, but you remember this, but you don't remember that,
okay.
And it's kind of weird. The other thing is, and this is both versions of the movie. None of you idiots go, hey, where's the mother box? You're the Justice League. Come on, man.
When they bring back Superman and the box goes flying and it lands on a cop car.
Right.
And only Silas has enough brains to hide it.
Right. Well, at least in the Snyder Cut, I will give Snyder that, which is at least somebody in the Snyder Cut said, okay, there's this.
Yeah. But I liked also the one other epic thing was I did not know about this tender scene between Martha and Lois, but it's not Martha, and I'm like, oh my god, that was awesome too when we got Martian Manhunter. That was awesome.
Right, but it also begs the question: if he's been around all this long, how come he didn't do anything?
He didn't have he didn't know what was going on, enough wherewithal to know he had to go to Russia halfway across the world to fight Steppenwolf.
I don't buy it.
And he's not quite convinced yet that maybe all right, okay, you guys saved the world and stop Steppenwolf, and maybe I guess I can join you guys, eh?
Here's the thing. This I will say, and this is where I will give him his credit, which is the last 90 to 60 minutes. Yes, the fight sequence that he created was better than the Whedon fight sequence. I will give him that 110%.
Okay.
That final fight that they put together, that final part of that was much better, and I liked what Batman did a lot better in that. Although I still don't understand how, if there's this, to the life of me, and this is both versions, by the way. To the life of me, there's a shield from an alien planet But I'm going to use good old fashioned American missiles, and it'll just go down, and there's no
Some
problem.
Wayne Industries explosives. That'll crack that shield.
That'll crack the shield, no problem. I'm just like,
This will
really?
do the trick.
This will do the trick.
Alien technology.
And by
Take
the way,
that.
yeah.
But
I don't
it worked,
need to worry about
so okay.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's the part where alien technology. I don't care. I got Wayne tech. Boom. You know. It just that's
So,
the other thing.
I guess. Go ahead.
I think that's the other. And by the way, this is on both. This is both versions of both movies, and this goes back to Batman versus Superman, which is I don't really like what happens to Batman in these big fights. I don't find it. I feel like it doesn't end up being Batman anymore. Batman is one of the greatest combatants on the planet. I mean, he literally is, in my opinion, he's a mix between, to give perspective, and God, I hate to say it this way, he's got Tony Stark's money. Actually, he's got more than Tony Stark, okay, in terms of money. He's got Tony Stark's money and tech and all that stuff. But unlike Tony, he can go toe-to-toe with Captain America. And it has that kind of ability in terms of a fighter. And I just feel like every time we saw Batman in all three versions of this movies, okay, it's all about the toys. It's all about guns.
Yeah, and there was Batman, the theme of this film of the trying to get the big carrier ship flying. They tried to work on this big carrier ship.
Right, and I don't mind about the carrier ship, but it's like, okay, he gets there and it's like, okay, it's about guns. And then he goes and takes out guys and it's about, he's got more guns to shoot at more guns. And it's like there's this one, like the one scene where he's in the carrier ship and they're all like basically trying to get into the carrier ship and instead he uses the Batmobile and drives out of it. To me, I think it would have been a lot more cooler to let them come in, to have a scene where the parademons come in, and they're all looking around for Batman, and it's dark, and they can't see anything. And one by one, Batman takes them out.
Because he's got night vision goggles.
Because he's Batman, and that's what the fuck but he's Batman, and that's what he does.
And he will fucking kill you if he's a Joker.
Right, but that's him. That's
the Batman way. You're right.
That's the Batman way.
That's how he takes out all the thugs in Gotham. He waits until he gets them on his terms in the dark.
So,
in the dark.
And in fairness, he should be able to take out some of those parademons hand to hand. He should be able to do that.
Yeah,
and by the way, where's the batarangs? Throw some batarangs at you.
The only batarang he threw was when he threw it at
the one at Flash.
Barry.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like suddenly like the all the cool everything. That's what I mean. Everything was either a vehicle or a gun from Batman. It's
he did use the grappling hook.
Okay, that's a gun.
He did use the grappling hook to get across that bridge in the sewer scene.
That's a gun.
Yeah,
it's a grappling gun.
It's a grappling hook gun. It fires a hook.
The point being is,
Batman
has a lot of other cool stuff that he can do, and I just feel like
it wasn't about he didn't want maybe they just didn't want to get too gimmicky and be all like have all of a sudden he's pulling out the back shot Rick pellet,
No,
okay.
No?
Here's a thought. How about and seriously, I mean, here's a thought. Okay, Batman knows how to create powered armor.
Yes, he does. He did build that power armor for BVS just recently.
Right. So why couldn't he have modified that even further to go fight Steppenwolf? Why couldn't he have been in that battle?
Maybe he didn't have the materials.
He's got everything.
He's Batman.
He's Batman. He's got whatever he wants.
I'm Batman.
So I think I'm ready to give my final thoughts on this.
Well, again, like I said, I mean, I'm just hitting certain points.
Yeah, me too.
Like I said, the back 60 to 90 minutes.
The audience.
The back 60 to 90 minutes are worth watching, and that, you know, the only thing I just keep laughing about, and this is the part where I do kind of sit there and I'm like, so the portal's open and Darkseid just decides not to walk out and fight? Is there a reason for
he didn't want to. He
we...
wanted to take an army of parademons with him. Maybe he just wanted. Also, his patience. You know, it's like I've conquered 100,000 worlds, bitch. I'll take care of you eventually.
I guess. I mean, it is kind of that one scene.
It's heroic.
So the one scene where where the portal closes in there and he sees them and they see them. That's great. Now, on the other hand, the one where Snyder literally copies Kung Fu Panda. Okay. That was bullshit. And Mike, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about.
Explain it for those who don't know.
So there's a scene where literally it looks like the Justice League doing the Kung Fu Panda scene in Kung Fu Panda 2, where it's the fabulous whatever it is in Poe, and they're all in like their action poses, and it's slow-mo, and they're all like in the movie. I you know what part of the movie I'm talking about in Kung Fu Panda?
I know exactly what part of the movie you're talking.
Okay. Now imagine the Justice League doing that.
And they did.
That's why I'm laughing, because I can envision this in my head. I'm like, oh my God.
And then yes, keep in mind how dark the Justice League is, and how dark it is, and how dark they have everything. And then they do that scene, and I'm like,
it totally broke out in darkness.
Are you kidding me? And I'm like, really?
I'm proud.
Yeah.
I just like...
So, you go to a restaurant, you're looking to get a good meal, and it's not what you want. And you go to the waiter, and the owner of the restaurant comes out, and it's like, I'm not happy with this. I'll pay for it, but I'm not really happy with it. It's like, okay, don't worry about it. We'll give you a full course meal. And you're there an extra hour. And you were like super full. And you're there way longer than you think you were going to be. So you got a second meal. And it was decent. So you got 2 meals out of it. And so you got, and a lot of it was, you know, a couple of really good, that was pretty good. And that's how this film is. You went there for this one thing, and you got something else, but eventually you got something else. And you're not saying this is a twofer, but you've had your fill. And I don't know if I'm going to go back, and now it doesn't look like we're going to go back because there isn't going to be any more Snyder films in DC, at least not in the foreseeable future. But man, it's like, yeah, it's and I saw a comment on one of the message boards or one of the Facebook groups saying, all you people saying it's a masterpiece, if it had to be done a second time, it's not a masterpiece. Mm-hmm. And it had some epic moments, but I still liked it. And I think it was just about, just a little bit, maybe a little bit less, but all these years we were talking about it, and living up to its hype would have been impossible. But I'd say this one was good. Not my favorite DC, obviously, not my favorite DC film. But I'm just going to give this 4 out of 5 yeah-mans. 4 out of 5 for me.
That's pretty good.
Jeff, what do you give it?
Can't do it. Cannot do it.
You're not?
No way.
You're not putting a number on it?
No, I mean, I'll put a number on it. But, so, here's the thing. There's a lot of people right now who want to call this vindication. There are a lot of people who right now want to point out and see. They should let him do it. Okay, let's put this, let's put this in perspective. And this is the problem I'm having right now, is there are a lot of people out there who are not putting this in perspective. And they're looking at this like vindication, and they're making it seem like this was the greatest movie ever, and how things would have been much different.
Yeah, just because it's 4 hours long doesn't mean it's good as Lord of the Rings.
Well, I have some people who literally were like, this would have gone up against any of the Avengers movies, and I'm like, no. No, and no. Sorry, dude. No way. Maybe. Okay, I will give you this. Maybe Age of Ultron. Okay, it might have been better than Age of Ultron. But there's a lot of stuff in Age of Ultron that I enjoy. But there are a lot of people who want to put this movie that high that like they want to put it up there with Avengers movies.
Ultron was a way better villain than Steppenwolf.
Right. Well, yeah, that too. And there's a lot of there's some as much as Age of Ultron is the worst of all the Avengers movies. Okay, there's still some really good stuff in Age of Ultron. The hammer scene is just the greatest thing of all time. Mm-hmm. I mean, but we don't get that.
And Hulk versus the Hulkbuster.
Right. There's
that was awesome.
Again, the point being is there's some people who want to put it on that level, and I don't agree with them. There's some people who sit there and say this is total vindication. And there's some people who are looking at this from the perspective of all the stuff with Joss Whedon who just want to pile on. And there's some people who want to go after Jeff Johns. There's some people who are talking about this from the perspective of this is the vindication of Ray Fisher. And all these different types of pieces. And there is a lot of political
As a quick aside, I enjoyed Ray Fisher's performance as Cyborg in this film.
It's all right. It's okay. I don't think it hurts him to say booyah even in his performance. But hey, if that's how he feels, so be it. And I think that's part of the problem too is the characters here take themselves way too fucking seriously in this movie. Way too fucking seriously. And all I'm going to say is, and again, to get where I'm trying to go with this, which is, let's be clear about something. Not only was this a lot of the stuff that Snyder put in, Snyder got 4 years later to be able to pick this back up again, or 3 years later to pick this back up again with 3 years of insight and extra money and reshoots. Okay. I don't know if it gets released if we get the same movie that we saw and the same look that we saw in 2017 from Snyder straight up. I don't think we do. I think we got a different look because it was decided in 2020 that they were going to allow this to happen. And so, and he got to do a whole bunch of reshoots. In fairness, Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns and Berg wanted an extra 2 to 3 months, and Warner would not give that to them. And by the way, I want to be clear. This is not vindication to Joss Whedon. This isn't any of that. But people seem to want to marry the two together and a lot of that. To me, this movie is good. It's not great.
No.
It's not what a lot of people want to call it. I cannot give it 4 stars. I cannot give it 4 yeah-mans. I'll say 3.5.
Okay, that's fair.
And in fairness, I feel like I'm being generous on 3.5 because really, in reality, here's how I'll put it. The first 2.5 to 3 hours, I give it 2.
Really?
The
payoff was only what put it over. So yeah, the first hour, like I said, the first hour 15, I'm like, oh boy.
Right. No, and I sat there and maybe part of it is I'm a DC fan and I know some of these stories, and there's a part of me where I'm like, hey, I want to get to the plot. I understand you want to tell all these backstories and stuff like that, but if and in fairness, I'm also watching this from the perspective of, there are a lot of people who are like, well, it's on HBO Max, you got to watch it from that perspective. No, I'm watching it from the perspective of it's a movie, it's 4 hours, and I'm also looking at it from a perspective of would I have sat through this in the cinema and not basically been stabbing my eye out with a fork? and the answer is no. I would have been like, holy fucking shit. Jesus Christ, get to the goddamn point. Get to what, especially with no humor and the
chapters was a little distracting. The chapter number.
Yeah. Again, like I said, and let's be clear about something.
Yeah, you kind of and you're right. There's little humor in this film, and there's one part where Martha's talking to Lois, and she's like, "Everywhere I go, I see that darned S." And I just shouted to the screen, "It's not an S, Mom. It's hope, Mom." But in my world, it means hope. It was like you need some of this. You kind of want some of that humor back.
So can I say that here's the things that it's funny when I watch this now. When I watched that, here's the things from the Whedon stuff that I liked, okay? I liked that intro that they did at the beginning of the Whedon thing. I liked when they started with everybody, the very, very eerie everybody knows, and the world is mourning Superman. I liked that.
Yeah.
I liked that, and we didn't get that here. All of that stuff was all Whedon, apparently.
Yeah.
I will admit that I liked that there was less infighting, because it seemed like Whedon added more infighting, which I don't think was needed. We lost quite a bit of the humor. Again, we talked about the lasso thing.
Yeah.
But, and I liked the music better. Whedon seemed to grasp, hey, we need better music. You know, and yeah. But I like I said, I'm not sitting here talking about that the Whedon movie was the greatest thing ever. I'm not going to sit there and say that. And I'm not saying it's better. I'm just sitting there going, I totally understand now what they saw, what they tried to do it, and why they tried to do it. And it makes sense to me if you're trying to release a movie to theaters and you're trying to get a general audience. In fairness, this movie was made for not a general audience.
This was made for DC fans. Also, did they change that scene with Luthor and Deathstroke on the boat? Is that the same scene? I don't remember Luthor dropping Bruce Wayne's name on the boat.
That was different. Yeah. No, that was different.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting to see who's around for the apocalyptic scene in the end, because it's interesting to see who's there and who's not. And by the way, this is the other reason I have issues with Snyder is all right, fine, you're going to have your little conversation. You're going to have your little conversation between Batman and Leto, between Affleck and Leto.
Yeah,
I was
okay with that. I was okay with that.
I was too, except for the problem being that I know who Snyder wanted that dead Robin to be, and I have a problem with that.
I know.
I have a real problem with that, and that's the other reason why, P.S., I'm okay with no more Snyderverse.
Right.
Because
Dick Grayson's dead.
Because he wanted Dick Grayson dead, and that's my favorite DC character. So Zack Snyder can go fuck himself.
Take a line from the Iron Sheik, and say, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah. Campbell clutch his ass and go fuck
That's right, and can suplex him. Yeah, make him humble.
Make him humble.
So you give it a solid. So you're solid 3, borderline 3.5.
I'll give it 3.5.
Okay.
I'll give it 3.5. Which is funny because there are people online who are like, "You're just hate watching it."
I did see your little rant there as you're watching it. I'm like, oh man, he's ripping this apart.
I am. I'm not going to sit there and play games. It's there's too much shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was expecting 2 out of 5 from you today, but
no,
because you're based on your rant.
Good enough.
Yeah.
The back half. I mean, so in fairness, let's. Since Mike has brought this up, I need to go find my rant. It was pretty good. There's some good stuff in there. I did bring up a lot of my rant here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's. I actually, Ivan will get a kick out of this because literally this is. Where is it? I gotta find it because it's. In fairness, I had Ivan by myself. I had over 60 comments on this thing. It starts with. It starts. Why am I even doing this? Let the hate watching commence.
I did see a couple of people defending the film in your comment section.
I know they did. I did. I'm sorry. That's the other thing. I have a 55-inch screen TV, Zack Snyder. Why are you fucking cutting down the size of what the fuck my screen is?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Is the 4:3 format?
Yeah.
You're like, what?
No, it's like now I have to watch it. No.
Like let me pull out my cathode ray tube from 1993 and watch Justice League Snyder Cut in 4:3 format.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And that's why I even started from the beginning. It's like I have a 55-inch TV. I want to watch it in all its glory. Oh no, we're gonna cut that and basically cut it where like, we're going to cut it to where, like, you should be watching this on a 30-inch TV. And it's like, why? Why am I not allowed to watch it?
Not enough screen for your screen.
I'm sorry. I forgot about.
I'd like to know the reason why this is in 4:3.
I'm sorry. I forgot about this. I forgot about when he goes to me.
Economics, maybe.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. I forgot about this. This was actually a pretty good, funny comment because there's that scene where, for some strange reason, the women are singing in Iceland.
Yeah, that was creepy as fuck.
Right, and I'm like, what's the fuck? What's with Icelandic Wilson?
And she
Phillips?
like picks up his shirt and like he threw it on the ground. He goes in the water and she picks up the shirt and smells it. Like, what the hell, man? That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm all for what.
It's like all like kind of Children of the Corn shit with the Aquaman
right
over here in this town.
Like I said, I thought I don't think
there's one for you.
I don't think I even caught my comment, which was what's with Icelandic Wilson Phillips.
I think that's that one.
Hold on for one more day.
Because that kind of sounded a little like Wilson Phillips.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, and then, like I said, I got it. It's like, like I said, there's parts where it's like, see, like, for example, they got Wonder Woman standing between justice and law, and then she kills, what's his name? Yeah, because she's justice and law. She's in between, so that's what killers do. I mean, that's like, oh. Like I said, I did like the scene with the little girl where she says, you could be anything. I'm like, aw, Zack Snyder has a heart for a minute.
Yeah, like 30 seconds after she murders a dude.
Yeah, well,
oh, wow.
Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to look to see if there's any... again, here's the thing I kind of laugh about is, based on what we've seen from all the stuff that they did this in the wrong goddamn order. They did this in the wrong damn order in terms of villains. Okay? What it should have been is, Steppenwolf should have been in Batman versus Superman. And then they had to form the Justice League. And then Luthor should have been bringing out Doomsday. And then it should have been Justice League versus...
creates Doomsday.
Right. So then you have the Justice League versus Doomsday.
And then
along came Jones.
The point being is, if you go that direction and then it's Justice League versus Doomsday,
yeah,
and then Superman dies, okay, at the end of the first Justice League movie, then you're setting up for the fact that Darkseid could then come invade in the second movie.
And without Superman, we're going to lose. But when Darkseid arrives, though, shit's going down real fast. So there's no time for them to, just wait to find the mother boxes or find the anti-life equation or find whatever MacGuffin they're going to find.
Yeah.
Because when Darkseid shows up on a planet, things going south immediately.
Well, that's what I mean. And I think that would have been a better way to do this. I think this would have been a better way to do this than Superman goes bad. I think it would have been more interesting to go the other direction, which is, okay, Superman's dead, then Darkseid shows up. All right, we don't have enough. We go down. We need to find a way to resurrect Superman, and then you get into, I don't know. I'm fascinated
some kind of crazed revenge.
Yeah. We okay with Superman donning the black suit at the end? I mean, that's the only element from the Return of Superman comic line that we got.
Right, except, it's double-edged, because it's like, yeah, that's nice. Then there's the other part of me where I'm like, is he just in it because he's going to be a bad guy eventually, and we're foreshadowing? Which I think is interesting, because it's like later on, it's like when he's the bad guy, he's wearing the normal Superman clothes in the epilogue.
In the Nightmare, yeah.
Well, why are you wearing that? Why can't you wear the black one, which makes all the sense in the world if you're the bad guy? But
because I don't think the frame of mind is supposed to make any sense.
Yeah. And these
Well,
these are Batman's premonitions, and we might not ever get touched upon again because who knows?
Well, they weren't just Batman's though, because keep in mind, there's the scene where right before and that's the other thing we haven't talked about. Right before they bring back Superman, Cyborg sees all that shit too.
Yeah, when he touches the mother box.
Right. And his comment isn't, and Barry mistakes his comment for go when Cyborg says no. And it's interesting, we never revisit that then again in the entire rest of the movie.
It was a snafu?
No, it's just
another thread they left open.
Right.
They didn't go back to
it. Something they might build upon later?
That I don't know. That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, that they'd hoped they'd set this up for a sequel so badly, and now it's like, well, I said never say never because we never thought we were gonna get a Snyder cut when the first one came out. So
that's why you say that.
I mean, that's the thing. We'll see where this all goes because look, I mean, if the numbers are here's the thing: if the numbers are ridiculous. And when I say the numbers are ridiculous, I mean, they really have to be over the top. Because at this point, keep in mind, part of this was easy because you only had to spend about $30 million in the reshoots and all the stuff that you did. Okay? You didn't have to pay for an entirely new movie with some of the people who were in this movie. To do an entirely second show exclusively for HBO Max, to get those stars, it can't be done. It can't be done. It's too expensive. Unless you're going to do an animated.
Did the first Justice League break even?
I don't know.
I don't think it did. I don't think after promotions and all that, I don't think they got their money back from the Justice League.
I don't know.
I got a feeling it was an underwhelming success.
But hey, now that we've had the Snyder Cut, we need to have the Schumacher Cut because I need bat nipples.
Batman Forever.
Yeah, because apparently there's a darker version of that. And then, in fairness, the real thing that I kind of laugh about is David Ayer claims up and down that he could easily, without reshoots, put out an Ayer cut version of his director's cut version of Suicide Squad, and yet for some strange reason, HBO Max is not interested in that. I would be interested in that. I would be very interested in that.
I still haven't watched Suicide Squad in its entirety.
Well, this would be an excuse to watch Suicide Squad in its entirety.
Now I'll watch it before Suicide Squad 2 drops.
I don't think you need to. My understanding is you won't need to.
Do you think number 2 is a standalone?
Well, James Gunn is doing very different things, is my understanding. I mean, my understanding is it's still technically the Suicide Squad, but I don't understand, and it's not been clear if any of it fits with what has been done previously with Suicide Squad. So,
no,
but it's not necessarily a continuation of that, but yet they're kind of moving forward. Yeah. So I don't know how to.
It depends on what part of the continuity they're going to touch upon and start basing it off of from that part of the continuity.
But it's funny, it's interesting. I will say this, which is, this does get the bad taste of a lot of people's mouths about Wonder Woman 84. But at the same time, I kind of laugh because it's like, all right, it sort of gets the bad taste out of people's mouths about Wonder Woman 84. But at the same time, this is a redo of a movie that was already out. So
right.
we're still back to okay.
Trying to repair it.
We're back at square one where DC doesn't know what the hell they're doing.
Right, and we're still back to okay, can they consistently...
It seems like a case of one step forward, 2 steps back.
Well,
we come together because opposites attract.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
There you go.
Aquaman was a hit for them.
Yeah, I'm amazed we haven't had Aquaman 2.
Right, and my understanding is they're in the process of working with that. But the point being is that I'm getting at is you had 2 movies where it looked like the momentum was coming, and then everyone was real hyped about Wonder Woman 84 until it showed up. And now people are like, and maybe Justice League takes a little bit of taste out of that. But if we're living in the here and the now, this Suicide Squad movie is kind of important. Because it's like, to me, it's like, okay.
Where do we go from here?
What are we, are we going to continue to have, was Wonder Woman 84 a blip? Or is this, maybe this is still going to be a problem.
Does DC still not have yet their shit together?
Right. And in fairness, I will at least cut them a little bit of slack in the fact that, hey, there's been a pandemic. So, some of this is they're going to have to figure it out as they go.
Is it, then, are we getting the Pattinson this year?
Yeah, I think that's this year too, later this year. At some point. Or at some point this year we're getting it.
Yeah.
I'll ask you this question, Mike, because it seems like, and then I know we got to get moving because we're running a little long.
We're running a little late, but that's okay.
But I'll ask you, if Black Widow is only available in theaters, are you going?
If it's in May, I'll go to one of my local theaters where it's smaller and I can social distance and not worry. I mean, who knows? Maybe by May 4th I'll have my vaccine. So, short answer, I'll go see Black Widow in theater.
I'll be vaccinated way before then, and at the same time, I just don't know. I don't know that I'm willing to.
I'm vaccinated for the 17th. I'll be vaccinated with my second shot on the 17th of April. So.
Right. But the point being is, I just don't know that I'm.
I'm down with it. I'm cool.
I don't know. I mean, I'm no. I don't know that I am.
Just wear your beekeeper outfit.
See, that's what I mean. Why do I want to go to a movie? I got to do that. I mean, if I'm going to go to a movie, I want to go to a movie. I don't want to have to sit there and be like, okay, I got to wear a beekeeper outfit and P.S. I'm going to have to open up, wear a hazmat suit that has like a tube to suck down the popcorn or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, like a funnel, like on the top.
Like robots,
Right. Emergency induction port for those. Shout out to Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go see Black Widow in the theater in May.
I'm still waiting for Disney to balk. I'm still waiting for Disney to balk and go, okay, we'll go ahead and put it on Disney Plus too.
We'll see.
Well, a lot of people are making a big deal about Raya and the Last Dragon. A lot of people are just like, yeah, glad I paid that $30 to see that thing. I don't know. Haven't seen it yet.
I heard it was just okay.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back to that. This goes back to what we talked about and I laugh because a lot of people seem to be more upset about this time, but this isn't new. They did it with Mulan too, right? Didn't they?
Right.
Yeah, Mulan was $30 for a few months, and then eventually it became free on the platform.
I mean, this is not a new thing for them to have done this. It's just the difference is it seems like it's a little.
But if they do the same thing with Black Widow for $30, I'll invite a few friends over and be all like, okay, everybody throw $5 in. Let's, I'll make some snacks. Maybe put a burger or two on the grill. I'm like, all right, let's sit and watch the film. I'd do that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I mean, that's kind of why I laugh because it's like. I don't know if I'll pay $30. But in fairness, if I had more people in my household, maybe that would be different.
Ooh.
What are you doing, Ivan? What are you eating now?
No, nothing. We were talking about what we're going to bring to the viewing party. You were talking about putting steaks on the grill, burgers on the grill and stuff. I said, okay, we'll see you there, and we'll bring the New York steak.
Okay.
And he'll bring a bowl. And some edibles.
Well, no, I can't do that to Mike's house. I'm sorry.
No.
Can't do that unless you want.
I do not partake. That's all right.
No, that's okay. And that's
wow,
okay.
Scarlett Jo's ass looks pretty.
I don't need any mind-enhancing drugs to admire Scarlett Jo's ass.
No, you just do it on your own.
It's got other colors other than black.
Oh, dude, I mean, you're talking about psychedelics now, man. Ain't no weed in that.
Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah. Black Widow's coming. Do we have any other? And of course, this Falcon Winter Soldier tied us over until
your name is
Black Widow goes up. But
well, not only that, we got the Loki thing,
and then Loki comes in May afterwards. So.
Right.
We have another news you want to touch upon before we head out?
No, I think we hit. I mean, that's kind of why I hit some of the news first. Was I was like, okay, let's hit some of this first because I knew we were gonna between Falcon Winter Soldier and then we had the Justice League movie.
We're putting a podcast together.
Yeah,
we need people with abilities.
Yeah. What's your power again? I'm rich. That's the only funny line that he has in the entire movie.
And that was in the first. Of course, in that at the end where what'd you do? How did you fix the bank? I bought the bank. Yeah, that was the only.
Yeah, there's that, but that's not really that funny either.
I thought it was funny. I still got a chuckle out of that at the end.
There you go.
Anyway,
that's the problem I have. But wait, that's the problem I have a little bit. Is it's like Bruce Wayne was Tony Stark before Tony Stark was Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like, and I kind of laugh because it's like, man, I still feel like you don't have it Bruce Wayne figured out well enough yet. But okay. Yeah. We'll see.
So, Ivan, are you spinning this weekend?
Let's see. Well, I will be.
I'll
be doing the Motown train on the 26th, and I think I'm doing a perform. Oh yes, I am. I'm doing St. Outier's club before them. Yeah, so I got two events happening on Friday.
Okay.
And then Sunday, back at the spinning wheel, for my last shift on the Sunday sessions, and then Monday back around with you guys again.
Yep.
So there you go.
Well, we're happy to have you back next Monday.
Absolutely.
Jeff, you clubbing this weekend?
Yeah, like I said, Sunday Night Stories exclusively on Clubhouse, 9:30 Central Time, and we have 4 really great storytellers that are going to tell stories. So if you have an iPhone and you're on Clubhouse, by all means, come out and join us at 9:30 Central Time, and should be a blast.
All right,
I want to tell stories. I tell good stories.
You do?
I do.
About things and stuff?
You're a fantastic journey to the dispensary.
Yes.
So, okay, that'll do. Episode 140 of Squares Roundtable Podcast. We're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe. You know when to get new content, notifications, and all that. And, of course, you can download the show on your usual podcast hosting platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, and a couple other little ones. Follow us on Facebook, and we get all these nerd stories, and, of course, the wacky stories of our side hustle, News of the Squared. That will drop later in the week. Ivan is on twitch.tv at Java and Ivan. Jeff is on Facebook, Google, Instagram, Twitter at Steinamite Productions. And, of course, for comments, suggestions, insults, whatever, send us an email. We crave attention. SOTRTpodcast@gmail.com. To the Batmobile.